Hey everybody. Ever since Microsoft announced that Windows 10 support would be ending in 2025, in spite of the massive popularity of the operating system, it's been around since 2015, and in a way, it seemed that Windows 10 was going to be the last version of Windows. Now, of course, I know people will say that was a Microsoft employee who made that statement and wasn't an official Microsoft statement, but you think about it. Windows 10 was the first version of Windows to have regularly updating features, more or less, in the past with Windows 7, Windows XP, for example. You did have some feature upgrades, but they came in the form of service packs. And you did not get these feature upgrades every half year or every year, because for a while they were coming every 6 months or so for Windows 10. And I should note that these feature upgrades were a new build number for the operating system. Yeah, it was basically like doing an upgrade install of your OS. So yeah, Windows 10 was the first one to adopt that practice, so it seemed that Microsoft was going to keep it Windows 10 for the foreseeable future. Like, there will be no new release of Windows, it will just be Windows 10, 1709, 1803, 21H2, etc. It'd be Windows 10, but a new OS build number. But then, to the shock of some, Microsoft announced Windows 11. And Windows 11 would bring along some new features, but the most controversial thing in Windows 11 is what I call the Microsoft Elite class system requirements for Windows 11. More or less, Microsoft, what they did was they said, okay, your computer will need to be no more than, 3 or 4 years old to support this new operating system. That Windows 10 computer you bought in 2017, now go, throw it out and buy a new PC for Windows 11. And what's so controversial, of course, of these system requirements, I have many videos on this channel of this, is the fact that in many cases you can bypass those Elite class requirements and force install Windows 11 on systems dating back to, 2010, 2011, and for Windows 11 23H2 and older builds, you could install Windows 11 on systems going back to 2006, 2005 even. It's crazy. With some upgrades like an SSD, those older computers could run Windows 11. Now, in some cases, not very well, but they could do it. So it's like Microsoft was artificially raising the system requirements for Windows 11 and then force ending support for Windows 10 and saying, okay, customers, go to Best Buy or wherever and buy you a new computer, so that way your computer will be supported. And for somebody who, for example, spends a lot of money on a high-end system, let's say in 2017, for example, my system right here, the Mid-Tower Lux, is my custom build, currently sports an AMD Ryzen 7 1700X, first generation Ryzen processor. And it does not meet the Elite class system requirements for Windows 11, but I have been running Windows 11 on that system, for 4 years, 3 years now. And it's like, okay, why are these system requirements so high? Well, Microsoft claims it's for security reasons. The push TPM 2.0 and to only support processors with modern security features. But again, with 24H2, you can install it, of course, bypassing the system requirements. It will run on systems dating back to pretty much all of the Intel Core i3, i5, and i7 processors, and with AMD stuff dating back to Bulldozer architecture, that FX generation of CPUs. Of course, the A-series APUs, E-series APUs even, stuff like that. Not that I would recommend it on, for example, the E-series systems, because it'd be pretty slow, but you get the idea. So, a customer has filed a lawsuit against Microsoft for ending support for Windows 10, saying it's forcing AI upgrades. And it's something that is pretty interesting to think about. Most of these new computers now, or at least some of them, they have the needed system requirements for Copilot Plus PC. More or less, Microsoft, and now of course this is just what's alleged in the lawsuit, is they're doing this to force people to buy new computers that meet the requirements for the new AI features. And honestly, I am not a fan of AI. I feel it does have its uses, but it's being forced on us, and I'm not really a fan of that. Now, this lawsuit is discussed in this PC Mag article, which I'll put a link to the video description, so that way you can read more about it. But yeah, as it reads, some people really don't want to upgrade to Windows 11, and I can't blame them. A Windows 10 user is suing Microsoft over the upcoming end of official security updates for the operating system. Lawrence Klein, who owns 2 Windows 10 laptops that don't support Windows 11, says Microsoft is forcing customers to buy newer devices. The lawsuit notes that Microsoft is ending Windows 10 support despite a huge number of people still using the older OS. July stats from a stat counter show that 53.39% of worldwide desktop users are on Windows 11, but 43% are still using Windows 10. Though Windows 11 launched in 2021, the newer OS only took Windows 10 just last month. And the only reason that Windows 11 has overtaken Windows 10 is because Microsoft is ending support for Windows 10. Now, Microsoft had opened up its extended security updates program, and of course it allows customers to spend $30 for an extra year of support, and there are actually ways you can get a free year of support. I might have to discuss that in a later video. But yeah, Microsoft, they're ending support for Windows 10, and more or less, unless you bypass the system requirements, you must go out and buy a new PC, even though your existing computer is probably perfectly fine for your needs. It's really, it's ridiculous. It's causing people to unnecessarily have to spend money on a new computer and dispose of an existing computer that was working fine for their needs. So yeah, Microsoft got sued over it. Now, it remains to be seen what's going to happen with this lawsuit. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. And of course, if you want to read the whole article, I will put a link into the video description. That way you can go check it out. But yeah, a customer has filed a lawsuit against Microsoft over the end of Windows 10 support. Now, in a way, Windows 10 has been going for 10 years. But again, in the earlier years of Windows 10, it seemed that Windows 10 was going to be on a continuing evolving support model where you wouldn't have the traditional end of support after 10 years. But yeah, here we are. So, anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.